It's a brave new world, folks. See how it goes.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome if you happen to be new here. For today's review, I am giving my thoughts on Captain America Brave New World. This is the newest Captain America movie, starring Anthony Mackie assuming the role of Captain America. This also sees Harrison Ford taking up the mantle of General Thunderbolt Ross as formerly portrayed by William Hurt. This is going to be non-spoiler, so if you'd like me to do a spoiler review of the movie, just to give some of my more in-depth thoughts of the movie, let me know that in the comments down below. And like all movie reviews, at least I do, please make sure you go check out the movies and form your own opinions, and if you like it or if you don't just take my word for it. And as just a general good rule of thumb for most people who do reviews of movies, people are going to view movies with a different perspective no matter who you are, and people are going to have their own reasonings to like or dislike a movie. Remember, those are that person's opinions or their feelings on the movie, and feelings do change all the time. Like most people's feelings, no matter who you are, will never always be the same. If that kind of makes sense. So at least for myself, as someone who's been doing this for a number of years at this point, and who has had lovely people like yourself watching this who have taken the time to hear my thoughts on different things like that, I always stress, no matter what I think about anything I talk about, please make sure you see it for yourself and make your own opinion. If you like my opinion, great. If we agree on our feelings of a certain property, fantastic. If we disagree, totally fine. Movies and most media is subjective unless you're talking about real life, and that's a completely different story. My general thoughts on Captain America Brave New World: I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a fine movie. Is it as bombastic as an Endgame? Absolutely not. Is it as huge moments like a No Way Home or something like that? No, of course not. This is the fourth Captain America movie, and the first one starring Anthony Mackie as Captain America. Sam Wilson assuming the mantle after the events of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and of course when Steve Rogers presented him with the shield at the end of Endgame. Sam has a lot to prove, not only has to live up to the legacy of what Steve established with the character to begin with, but also, and not to shy away from any of it, he is a black man living in the United States of America, assuming a role that some people probably feel he is not worthy of. But I thought the movie does a good job in being an entertaining movie while also giving this character a chance to establish themselves as the standard bearer going forward for the legacy of Captain America, which has never been purely about being a representation of the United States of America. It's always about someone standing up for the little guy and doing what's right. That's what the character has always meant to me, and I think the movie does a good job presenting Sam in that light, and I think Anthony Mackie does a good job as Sam Wilson, who is more than an exterior presentation. He is fundamentally different than what Steve Rogers is, and so should be judged accordingly as his own character. I like the relationship between Sam and Joaquin as they establish this new duo, as Sam being Cap and Joaquin taking the mantle of Falcon since Sam is no longer the Falcon. The whole movie does center around Sam's relationship with Thunderbolt Ross, who has become the President of the United States in this movie. Ross is being portrayed by Harrison Ford because William Hurt's untimely passing, and I thought that Harrison Ford does a good job as Thunderbolt Ross. The movie does set up the tension between Ross and Wilson early on within the movie, and you get to see Sam step out as his own to do his own thing. There's a lot of pressure for Sam to not fail. Sam has to make decisions that not only reflect on himself, but reflect on the community and the person that he is. And when things happen, especially to Isaiah Bradley, who has returned for this movie, he has to try to help his friend while also stopping a global conflict. So it is a personal movie, but has stakes as well. And it does, for a lot of people that were complaining about what's going on with the giant celestial in the in the ocean. This movie does focus on that and what is discovered because of that and what that can mean going forward, leading to stuff like Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Trying to not spoil certain elements of the movie. This is a minor spoiler. There is a new element within the corpse of the Celestial floating out in the Indian Ocean. What extremely famous element has not been revealed yet in the MCU and has a big tie to a particular X-Man. I liked the performances of Anthony Mackie. He carries the movie. He does a really good job. If I have to critique the movie, which I will, it's not perfect. Of course not. There are certain things in the movie in terms of like the story itself that do feel like it was reworked once or twice. I do know that a certain professional wrestler was supposed to be in the movie, and with rewrites and stuff like that, he's no longer in the movie. But that plot line of a society that is doing like covert stuff is still within the movie, and that does star Giancarlo Esposito as that particular head of that group. I would have preferred a different role for Giancarlo Esposito. Not saying that he did anything bad in the movie. I just kind of feel like that character, I don't really foresee much of a future, but because it is Giancarlo Esposito who is portraying the character, maybe they will do more with him down the road. Again, this is the first of his, hopefully, multiple movies that Sam will get as Captain America. And maybe this character will make a reveal later on, but I thought the performance that Giancarlo Esposito gave was fine. It just was for a character that wasn't really a huge factor within the overall scope of the movie. The other factor in the movie, Tim Blake Nelson's the leader, does make his return after last being seen all the way back with the Incredible Hulk movie. And I like the character. I think the character does have more to offer. And for all intents and purposes, the character kind of got what he wanted in the end. The three-way...
Well, this just got interesting.
Conflict between Cap, Ross, and the leader does culminate with, and this is no big secret, you've seen it in the trailers, Ross becoming Red Hulk. And I wish the reveal, albeit that we knew going into it, was a little bit more subtle in the movie, but they do tee it up pretty early on that something is wrong with Ross, which eventually leads to him becoming Red Hulk and Sam having to go up against him. And how Sam resolves it is very characteristic to Sam as a person. He does not have the super soldier serum. He has a very souped up Captain America suit thanks to his relationship with Wakanda, and I really hope they give him a new suit after the events of this movie, because he does take a beating.
How you at?
Oh, it's cool.
Damn! Put your glasses back on.
But he keeps dusting himself off and getting back up. And that is a really great character trait, because he is not blessed with the super soldier serum and all of that baggage, but he uses the tools that have been established in previous movies to de-escalate situations and only going to violence as a last resort. And I think that is an awesome character trait. It's not always about who's the strongest, it's how you use your talents to solve problems and to help those around you. And I love that about how Sam is as Cap. It is a big order to be accepted in that role. And they did some heavy lifting in Falcon and Winter Soldier to make it a little bit easier for the relationship that Sam has as Captain America within this movie, because most people call him Cap. It doesn't seem like there's a huge focal point on him assuming the role, except for his tension with Ross. I wish the movie handled it a little differently. The movie is safe, and that is not necessarily the movie's fault. It is more of a Marvel, Disney corporate overlords decision to try to handle this with as much ambiguity as possible to appeal to a larger audience. There are subtleties in what it means for Sam being a person of color representing a country that canonically has treated other people like him very poorly. Case in point, how they treated Elijah Bradley throughout his entire history and throughout the entire history of most people of color within the country, and that is not something that is distinct from the real world. Obviously, Marvel has always been the world outside our window, just with people with superpowers, and like something like with DC, where it's a lot of gods, a lot of monsters, you know, very not of our world, but very similar to it. Whereas Marvel is DC, New York, LA, actual places in the world. You shouldn't shy away from that history. I get it. It's a movie. You want to appeal to people, and I wish the movie took a little bit more of a chance of being unapologetically authentic about that sort of struggle. I wish that was more in the movie. It does not take away from my enjoyment watching it. I actually had a good time watching the movie. I thought the action in the movie was actually really well done. Some of the CG, again, I think this is just a commentary on Marvel and most CG heavy properties over the last 10 years. You can polish it a little bit more, but also there's a lot of overworking that happens when it comes to VFX artists. I wish it was a little bit more polished, and some of those things you can tell when they're not outside and where they're on a green screen. Let me put it like that. But those little nitpicks are just my own personal opinion. I thought overall it's an enjoyable movie, albeit it is kind of safe. It doesn't necessarily push the boundaries as far as I would have liked it to push. But as a first entry, and hopefully future installments that we get Sam as Cap and as the leader of a newly formed team of Avengers down the road, I look forward to seeing those adventures. It should not stop with this one movie. I think Anthony Mackie portrays Sam Wilson very well. You're going to connect differently with Sam's character than Steve's character. The movie proves that Sam is Captain America and that Anthony Mackie is a good fit for that character. I think the movie does a good job presenting that. It does give us our big show-offs with Red Hulk and furthering the story of what happened post Eternals and what the discoveries within the body of the Celestial will mean for the future of the MCU. It does tease upcoming threats. We know Avengers Doomsday is coming. We know Secret Wars is coming. So it tees up those things, but it does keep it very kind of vague-ish as a post-credit scene, which I think they did that purposefully because of the last few post-credit scenes. A lot of those just haven't come to fruition for a multitude of reasons, mostly money. I still personally would suggest checking out Captain America Brave New World. Your opinion will vary more than likely, and that's fine. If you don't connect to the movie, that's fine. If it's number 23 or 24 on your list of your favorite MCU properties, they're not all going to be top 10, but this is definitely not a bad movie. It is a solid movie, albeit kind of safe-ish. It's still a solid, enjoyable ride. I had a good time checking it out, but check it out for yourself and let me know what you thought in the comments. You know, try to keep it spoiler-free if you would. Above all else, no matter what anyone says, go see the movie and form your own opinion. If you don't like it, great, but at least you saw it. But I enjoyed the movie, thought it was good. Let me know any thoughts that you have on it in the comments down below. Let me know if this swayed you to go see it. I would hope that my message has swayed you to go check it out and form your own opinion. But that is going to do it for this review for Captain America Brave New World. Do all the comment things if you would, please. Try to be nice, be cordial with it. People, or be cordial with me, please. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I appreciate it. Check out some of the other videos I have on the channel. I have a few reactions, reviews, shorts. I do lives once a week, if not multiple times a week. So do subscribe for those things and to just stay notified when I post new stuff. So I'm gonna get out of here. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your week or whenever you're watching this, and I will catch you later. See ya.